My hair were tied in very, very tight buns. We had a lot of braids and everything was very heavy. It was a whole construction. I literally thought that I would become bald at the end of the shoot.
Welcome to Shoot the Shit, a podcast that tells the unfiltered tales of filmmakers' craziest production and on-set experiences.
Because every shit situation on set makes for a great story after. I'm Kristen, a director and editor.
And I'm Taylor, also a director and editor, and today we're talking to Polyna, a music artist and singer.
Hello. Hello.
Welcome to the show,
Good to
Polyna.
be here. Thank you so much for inviting. I'm really happy and excited, and this is my very first podcast ever.
Yay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
We feel special now. I didn't know that.
I know, we're
I
honored.
feel special for being invited too. Thank you.
Well, Polyna, do you
feel
want to tell us a little bit about your background, your experience in the music industry, and the experience you've had with music video or TV film stuff as well?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I was born in Siberia, and for me to be here where I am, which is California, it took a long journey. It was a long journey. It was a lot of work, and I do have a lot of experiences in video making specifically. Most of the music videos, because I'm a music artist, and that's what I do. I've had, I don't know, probably like 7 music videos by now. I don't know. I lost count, which means that I do have some experience, but they're like, yeah, and all of my music and the music videos have this specific Nordic element because this is a part of who I am. This is what I want to translate through the music, through the visual side. I want to show people that Siberia is not some frozen wasteland. It's not some gulag and prisons and all of that. I really want them to see the beauty of North, even though I'm now based in California, which is a little ironic, but but I still miss the North. And I really want people to experience it as well through my music, through the videos. So all of my content, music videos, songs themselves have this Nordic element, which sometimes can be challenging, especially if you shoot something in Los Angeles with never ending summer. But still, I'm doing what I can. And so this is basically the overall concept of who Polyna is as an artist.
I love that you're sort of like an ambassador for your culture and where you're from, bringing that to California and the rest of the world through your content. So that's really cool.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
I kind of want to dive in a little bit to your experience. I mean, because I know that you have not only like performed and done stuff in Siberia, but I know that you're also like a well-seasoned musician and performer who has been around the world. So I'm just curious to know, like, where has your career taken you, and like, how did you start getting into like music videos and stuff like that? And like, what was your experience like finally being on set and like being a part of being in front of the camera and essentially producing stuff as well?
Um, it was a long journey. It started in Moscow in the theater university. Um, After that, I moved and studied a little bit in Berklee College of Music in Boston. Um, and I met a lot of interesting people, and one of them was a music manager, surprisingly based in London. So after Berkeley, he decided to become a manager, and I moved to London. And that's where it all started. I started writing music with different songwriters and composers, started collaborating with people. And once the first song was done, the first song was called Angel, and I felt like this is the single, we decided to do a music video for it. And it was a lot of challenges right away because my whole idea was, let's go to Siberia and let's shoot on the frozen lake Baikal, and then I would fall underwater. And so I had a whole epic idea. When we calculated the budget for it, we realized that probably it's a little unrealistic to do it from London. So, but we recorded this video in one of the biggest studios in London. It's the very famous place. I don't remember what was shot there, but it's some major movie studio, and we had a giant projection. We built the floor in a way that it was like a frozen lake. The texture was like a frozen lake. I had a tribe of dancers, and it was a very exciting project. We had about 50 people on set. And the music video is epic. It turned out epic. It's called Angel by Polyna, if you want to watch it. Um, After that, it was a pretty good success. I was very happy. After that, um, I moved back to Moscow, and I was thinking about the second music video, but I didn't have a giant team of 50 people or a very big budget to make it happen. And I realized that the next music video should be very small. Surprisingly enough, it was very challenging, but the quality between the first and the second music videos is not very much different. So that's when I realized that, okay, so it's not all about the budget. It's about creativity. It's about your vision. It's about the concept. It's about your art. And that kind of unleashed me. So from that moment on, when I discovered that, I realized that I can do so much more. So much art can be done with a good idea, with like-minded people around, and that's when the big journey started. And I have a lot of stories about the videos I can tell you. Yeah,
Well, we're
That's why
excited
we
to
brought
hear
you
them,
here
that's for
today.
sure.
So, excuse
yeah,
me, sorry. But jumping in, I'm curious to know, because again, we just have like little blurbs that tell us about these stories that you're gonna give us a little bit more detail on. But I'm so
yeah.
curious to know, you became bald after a shoot.
That's
Depending on how this goes, I probably would have been livid. So I'm curious to know how exactly this happened.
well. The word was probably almost bold, not fully bold. So, I had this crazy idea. I was scrolling through Instagram one day and I saw a beautiful doll. It was very like fashion sort of looking doll. It was very beautiful. It had long legs, long arms, very interesting hairstyle. And as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh my God, I need to do something with these artists. It's just so amazing. It's so beautiful. And then I couldn't sleep. I couldn't eat. I couldn't do anything for the next few weeks. I was just thinking about that idea. And I already had a song called I Just Want to Have Some Fun, which is so, which is like playful, right? The idea of the lyrics is so playful, playing with dolls, something like that. So I was thinking about it nonstop. Yet my song had this contrast of having very playful lyrics, yet a very dark, kind of alternative sound. So it was like this two contrasts, and I really wanted to reflect that in the video. And that doll didn't look like the average doll, so I thought, oh my God, it's perfect. So I had this idea of a music video of me becoming that doll. So we started thinking how to achieve that. I realized that the doll is only 40 centimeters, which is what, like this. And I have to become that doll somehow. Like, what kind of technique should we use to make it happen? So from start to finish, it took us 9 months to finish that music video because of how complex it was. And it's a music video, it's not a movie. It's a 4-minute piece, right? Um, I had a really amazing team, truly amazing team of like-minded people who worked on that video. And the video was split in two halves. One part was shooting the doll using a stop motion animation. And the second part was shooting me using a normal, regular technique with cameras that's not a stop motion. And then we would combine them together, making us the same height, and we would make stop motion smooth enough to blend. And the normal video would be like, I don't know how to say that in English,
Like
like
dropped frame, so it's a little bit
yeah,
jittery.
Staccato.
no, it was actually shoot normally, but my movement was a little bit doll-like, so we could combine us
Mm,
together, and that would
gotcha.
look and that would look blended.
Yeah, got it.
That idea is pretty complex.
Yeah.
And that's why when the music video was done, it was nominated to a lot of festivals and music video awards and all of that because it was pretty innovative. But what I didn't count on was the preparation time. In order for me to turn into a doll, I had to go through a whole bunch of changes, a whole bunch of like uh, makeup, hair, um, I don't know, eyelashes. For example, I woke up at like 3 a.m. I went to the makeup artist studio and we spent, I don't know, 2.5 hours putting this fake doll like eyelashes on me. And the problem was, it looks looks very simple, right? But because the eyelashes were so long, like wide, long eyelashes, they always tried to go down because they were so happy.
Oh,
So it
yeah.
was a big challenge. We spent like 2 weeks trying to figure how to do this kind of eyelashes for them to actually stay for a whole shoot. Then I went and started doing the hair with one of the best hairstylists ever. Um, his name is Alexei Yaroslavtsev. He's the genius, hair genius. He was doing my hair, and we had a crazy hairstyle. It was like some I don't know what you call these things, like
Like buns?
not buns, yeah, buns. And then on top of these buns, we had a lot of braids, and everything was very heavy. It was a whole construction. So my hair were tied in very tight buns right here on my head, and one of them, the left one, I remember because I remember the feeling. So the left bun was so tight, this very tight. But I felt too shy to tell him that it hurts a little bit.
Yeah.
Because he spent so much time to tie those buns, and I didn't want him to redo it, and I was already tired at the time because I spent 3 hours doing the lashes and makeup and all of that. He said, "Are you okay? Is it okay for you?" And I said, "Yeah, that's fine." And then as he was putting more and more layers of hair on top of my bun, I realized that I might not be able to bear this whole weight and the pain.
Oh my
But he
God.
was already halfway there, and there's no way he would redo that. And he kindly asked me like 3 times because he saw my face, like I started having this facial expressions. He was
Yeah.
like, "Should I redo it?" Could I? So 4 hours later, I was already in so much pain, and I had a huge weight right here on my hair, like a huge weight of hair. So we started shooting. I remember, so I woke up at 3 a.m. I made a first step on a set at 4:30 p.m. All of this time, it was my preparation,
It was
me turning into a
almost
doll.
12 hours of prep.
Yeah.
God.
Oh
And
my
when we haven't
God.
shot anything, it was all me turning into a doll.
So you're probably exhausted before you even started shooting.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I was
Wow.
kind of exhausted. And the costume as well. Like the costume are amazing ladies who did the costumes. They were working in a theater and they were making all these costumes. And I asked them, "How can you make this crown around my waist?" And some other things that we had, crazy stuff. And we couldn't find the right material for it because the normal fabric didn't do the good job. So she went to her garden and she took off some I don't know what's it called, this thing where this plastic thing where the plants
A trellis?
grow. Yeah, so she took this material from this cover up to make some
Yeah.
of the costume parts. So everything was really crazy and innovative.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I was on a shoot with this really, like the half of my head pounding from pain, from all this weight, right? And from this very bad decision of not telling him originally, and I was the one to blame. So in between the takes, I was holding this thing up a little bit, and I was like tearing up. And as soon as they would command like, "Okay, let's go," I would get back into a dull mood and be all happy and like cheerful and all of that. And I literally thought that I would become bald at the end of the shoot.
Oh
Like
my
that
God.
was it was not even a joke. I thought that okay, so I just wouldn't have half a hair on my head.
But it was so
I kind
tight.
of It
Yeah.
was so bad. Oh, I even feel it now, it's been years,
Yes.
but I still feel it. And then at the end, when I untied all of it, it turned out that my hair is still there. But
Phew.
I felt that pain for probably 2 weeks at least. It was
Oh my
so
God.
painful. Yeah, for the next 2 weeks, it was kind of sensitive. My head was sensitive still.
Wow. Residual. That's
Yeah,
wild.
yeah. But it was totally worth it because the video turned out so, so great. And I'm so proud of that work and of the team and the editors. And I'm just so proud of that.
Okay, what's this video called? Because we're all gonna have to go watch this.
It's called I Just Want to Have Some Fun.
Okay.
But it's not like funny or fun as you might think. It's quite dark. So
Okay.
it's that interesting like combination of dolls, fashion, darkness, and playfulness. It's an interesting contrast. Yeah.
Was it
I
hard
have
to
seen it.
keep
It's
your
really
face
cool.
composed and expressing
Thank
in the
you.
right ways when you were in so much pain?
This magic of movie making, every time the camera is on you, like points it at you, like you're good, you could. I can do anything for ours. Best as it's stupid. Kristen knows that. Kristen
I do
knows
know
that.
that. I do know that. She always prefaces it. She's like, I will do anything for the shot.
I love
She's
that.
Yeah.
always
Commitment
doing,
right
always want
there.
to work with somebody like that. So aesthetics over everything.
Well, that is certainly a wild story. I'd love to hear about your guys' experience working together. You guys have a project that I think as of this episode coming out, just released.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's
They
called
both
Deep
have
Water.
now. Deep Water, yes. It was a music video, or is a music video. I don't know if it was. Um,
It's still alive
uh,
and well.
it's still
Don't
alive and
worry.
well. She's thriving. She's thriving.
Yes.
And I had the pleasure of directing it. So Pauline and I got together and, creatively produced it and came up with some ideas for it. And you should check it out if you want to listen to a good song and see some cool visuals. But I know, Taylor, you've had the pleasure of watching it before it was released. I say that,
Yes.
you've had pleasure. Anyway.
There's some surprise moments in there that you're not expecting that are really great. So I won't give it away for people who haven't seen it yet.
But yeah, it was we did not have a 50-person crew, so it was a lot of hands on deck. Of course, as Paulina knows, she was there through the whole thing. She was taking out a car, looking all cool with her hair going through the wind, and freaking out in
No
the
buns this
passenger seat
time.
driving the car. No bus this time. Yeah,
But we
nothing
had a
strangling
different
her
kind of
roots.
pain. We're gonna tell you about it.
Uh-oh.
Oh gosh, which one? You tell me.
Well, my most memorable. I know that your most memorable is one thing. My most memorable is this sea stuff. I can't tell.
I think you should start with that one.
Do tell.
Okay. So, we were shooting this music video around Malibu area, and one portion of the video was right by the ocean. I was standing on the rocks, and it was very, very beautiful scene. I'm wearing this floating white fabric. Everything is very like um romantic and dreamy, and we're doing close-ups and full body shots as well. And so I have David, our amazing cameraman. He was a cinematographer. He was shooting this close-ups and stuff, and all I should do is I should look up at him at the camera and sing along, do the whole take of the whole song. And I need to look very dreamy and happy and, like very blissful.
Mm.
Maybe not very, but quite blissful. So I was looking at him and I was doing that. And then between the takes, I look down and I see that was shocking. I see that on every single rock on this beautiful coast, there are a ton of this strange sea creatures that look something in between the centipedes and cockroach. I don't know what kind of creatures are there, but they're like
Oh.
that big and
They're very fast.
honestly
They run
terrifying.
everywhere.
Oh yes, and very fast. Oh my god, I forgot that.
Oh God.
And they're
But they were
everywhere.
Yeah, they were like coming out from in between all the rocks, and Paulina's like standing on the rocks, and everywhere she would move, they would
barefoot.
like move around her.
Oh God. Were you afraid they're
And
gonna bite your feet?
I was screaming in
Yeah.
between the takes. I was just standing there, like trying to squeeze in the dot, like be like really, really tiny, and just I was just screaming the whole time. And then as soon as I heard, okay, go, and I heard the song, and I would go back to this,
Oh my God. So you
dreamy
like
setup.
switched from terror to bliss as soon as the camera
Yeah,
gets
again,
rolling.
the cinema magic, right?
Oh
Magic of
my
the
God.
camera. But it was so scary. It was so scary. Oh my God.
I'm not a big fan of like bugs or reptiles or anything like that. So I think whatever these sea creatures were, I would have been pretty afraid of them as well. Ugh.
Yeah, me neither.
No,
You
we
guys
really
needed
feel
like a
like
crab wrangler on set.
we
Keep
indeed,
that
yes,
shit
we
off.
did. We did need somebody exclusive for that. Maybe we should have had Jeffrey, our dancer, do that while we were shooting with you, just fending them off. Give him a rolled up newspaper, and you could just smack them around.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember because I was like walking through the rocks as well, but I did not see them nearly as much as you did. So I feel like you were attracting them somehow with like
I
just
don't know,
all
but
of
I felt
your
like
nature
nobody sees
aesthetic.
them. Like
Nobody
you guys
sees
were
them.
all quite chill. I was the one who was really scared. And I looked at David. I was like, do you see them? Are you scared? And he said, that's pretty much what he answered. I was like,
We're
what's
like,
going
yeah,
on?
no. I mean, yeah, I live in Hollywood. There's a lot of cockroaches here, so
Oof.
they're just different flavors, I
Yeah,
guess.
maybe that's what it was.
No, thank you. Ugh.
Maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
I was not trained for that.
she was so brave, and as soon as the camera was rolling, she was doing all of these beautiful movements and just looking so serene. So
I'm gonna have to
we
watch it
got the
again
shots.
and visualize the cockroaches
Try.
like coming
Well,
at your
there are
feet.
shots. There are shots from the top, so you can maybe see them.
Okay.
On the floor.
I
I mean,
And
on
it
gotta
is
the
watch it
slowed
floor.
again and look
down.
out.
It's in a slower motion, so maybe there's one crawling
Little
around in
You guys should do
slow.
cameo.
the same. Look for my friends.
Oh my God.
But
Well, that
yeah,
sounded fun. Do you guys
No,
want
is it?
to take us into what else happened on this shoot?
I mean, I feel like the main point of contention of this shoot, man, was this vintage car that was rented because we like essentially the idea of the whole like story within the song is of these two people who are deeply in love, and specifically from Paulina's perspective of just feeling overwhelmed by this love and trying to understand what it means to you, and do you let go or do you try to hold on and control the way you feel? And it's kind of this argument that you have within yourself. So essentially, we wanted to kind of show like the. Okay, I start to sound crazy to myself when I talk about like tones and stuff like that. But anyway, we just
No, go
essentially.
ahead. I love it.
Yeah, do tell. Do tell.
I feel like I'm writing an English paper. Like this is the symbolism within this thing.
I love
But
that
yeah,
shit.
so I mean, I'm into it too. But we just wanted to show them going on a journey to end up in a destination. And so like the coolest way we could do that was in this beautiful car driving through the Malibu hills in, the beautiful landscape of Southern California. And when you think of like, oh, a music video and a beautiful car, like a classic Mercedes, like, oh, it sounds just so perfect. Until you have to drive the car through the Malibu hills. And the car just smells like it is made of gasoline. The whole thing is just made of gasoline.
I can
It
smell it
goes
now.
12
Oh
miles
God.
an hour. Like it's a beautiful car. It was not originally automatic, but the owner turned it into an automatic. It was originally a shift. So I think there might have been a little bit. I'm not a car expert by any means, but I think there might have been a little bit of like something not working right with the gears.
Right.
Right. So we would be going up a grade and it would just be chugging, 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 chugging.
Oh
And that's how
God.
Paulina drove from her place all the way to Malibu in this car. And I did not realize how bad it was until I had to drive the car because, initially we had the idea that we would have Jeffrey, who's her dancing counterpart and like quote unquote love interest in the music video. He was going to drive her and we were going to shoot like the two of them kind of like interacting while it's happening, but he doesn't drive. So I had to be Jeffrey. So I had to like put on his shirt and like drive the car around. And then like David would have to like angle the camera away like just enough so where he only like catch my shoulder, just like a tiny bit of it, because I clearly don't look anything like Jeffrey. I don't have his arms.
And Kristen had ponytail like all the way. Oh
yeah, I had to like take all my hair up and like put it off to the
Oh
side.
yeah, you had to hide that hair because that would be a good giveaway.
I did.
It was like a weird ponytail on the side. Yeah,
I was like Misty from Pokemon.
I'd like to see some behind the scenes photos of that.
There's plenty of that. There's evidence of this. So we're driving, like we have to drive down and up this it's a pretty desolate road. Like most people aren't going up and down it on a regular basis, but there are some houses in the area. So every once in a while we would catch someone who was just like driving at a normal speed and then they just like tail us and it's essentially pushing us up back up the hill, and it was just so hard to kind of try and there was one scene shots
specifically where we really wanted to do the cinematic movement of the car when it's driving all alone down the hill, or up the hill, and it was supposed to be alone, like only one car. And every time we would try to do that, we had a whole chain of cars all his cars behind us. So we tried like 4 times, and we only had like half a take that we ended up using. The rest was our car and like 20 cars behind it. So
it was rough at that point. Like all of a sudden, everybody had somewhere to go. I was like, okay, thanks. Thank you so much.
That is stressful too when all these people are backed up behind you, and I feel like the pressure of everyone is probably like, come on. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And you're trying to get your shot.
And I'm like, it's not like I'm slowing down for the sake of the shot. Like, I'm not like, no, I'm going to slow down because I need this shot of her like hanging out the window. I literally can't make the car go any faster. Like, you're just going to have to be patient. We all get to be patient in this moment.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And then I was driving that car back home. I mean, back to the owner, from the shoot. And it's, so the usual drive there would take probably 45 minutes with no traffic. And it was no traffic because it was like 11 already by that time.
Yeah, it was really late.
I couldn't merge into 405 because the cars were so fast and they kept squeezing me out.
Oh my
God.
I
had to use all these side streets to get back, and it took me almost 3 hours to get her back.
Oh my God. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Did the owner warn you, like, hey, probably shouldn't take this on the freeway?
So this is the thing. The owner actually, and now I feel kind of bad because the owner actually told me, can you mention me or something? Can you mention the car? We would be so thrilled to have it be mentioned. And we did mention the car many times by now at the premiere event, on my social media, like here now, and during our conversations with friends. We keep mentioning, but I don't think it's specifically that light that he wanted it to be mentioned.
It was the fastest car you've ever
gasoline, and it won't go more than 12 miles an hour.
We keep complaining about this car. But seriously, so I had the whole perfect vision, and I had this little dream, of living in California and sometime later down the line owning this retro vintage car, and it would be, I don't know, yellow or pink with white interior, and it would be the convertible, of course. And I would drive this beautiful car down the coast, and it was just this picture, this vision that I had, and I felt like, oh my God, this is like a dream come true. And so we when we rented that car, I was like, okay, the dream is coming true slowly. So after that shoot, that dream is completely disappeared. Like, it's never gonna happen for me again. I don't have that dream anymore. So
you're like,
no vintage cars.
Been there, done that.
Yeah. Definitely not. What?
Oh, go ahead. Finish what you're saying.
Now I wanted to ask you, like, do you have a dream? I think it's every other person who has this, romantic idea of turning a vintage car at some point.
I can't say that I have. I did a shoot with a vintage car once as well, and it was fun. But yeah, we didn't have to drive it very far or take it on the
Oh,
freeway,
okay.
so we didn't have a dream car.
Okay.
But I have to say, I'm like one of those people that actually enjoys the smell of gasoline, so I think I would have been enjoying that. Though maybe a little bit like passing
You
out
would
from it
have
by
you
the
would have
end.
been enjoying it so much.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
There's a
it's
like
like
lot of gasoline.
did
it's
you
the
feel like you
amount.
were like getting lightheaded though?
Honestly, at certain moments, though, like
Yes,
I have to
heavy
drive on
headed.
this windy road and like there's no guardrail.
Yeah, some of
Like
my
that
like
was also
blackout while driving.
terrifying.
Oh
Yeah,
god.
like you start to ask yourself, like, is this normal? Like, is this like a normal amount of gasoline to be smelling in this
Maybe
situation?
it was. I actually don't know.
I
Can
don't
I have
It
a
does
know.
five-star rating? So people are loving it, or maybe all the people enjoy the smell too.
Maybe they're just not trying to shoot music videos in it, and good for them because I think they enjoy
And
it more than
Malibu
breathing
Hills.
it. Yeah, I do have to say, like, this there was one moment, like, when I first started driving a car and we're getting the shots with Paulina, and she's, like, sitting passenger to me, and I'm, like, kind of freaking out because 'cause I'm like, "Oh my gosh," like, there was something particular about, like, having to, like, turn the key and press the brake or something to get the car to turn on, and so I was always afraid that I was gonna, like,
Oh
mess
yeah.
that up or, like, there were because it had, like, its own ticks and all these things, so I'm, like, trying to keep the crew
Yeah.
safe, trying to, like, make sure that we're not stopping traffic or, like, get hit by anyone, and then, like, the car's not going, and I also can't, like, touch it the wrong way, otherwise the transmission will fall out or something, and I'm just like, "Ah," and, like, she could sense that I was, like, really stressed out, and she just, like, turns to me and she's like, "You're fine. You're fine." Like, she just goes, "You're fine,"
That
and I'm
doesn't
like
sound very convincing.
but it was like
She's
enough
so
for me to like stop being the self-doubting person that I constantly am. And I was like, I have no control or no choice over the situation. Like I'm just gonna drive the fucking car. And it
Just gotta
worked.
go in.
It worked and we made it happen and it was still terrifying at times, but like it was enough like enough of a verbal push for me to be like, okay, like we're gonna get it done. We're just gonna deal with it. And yeah,
But
so
on
she
the
was
bright side, talking, I want to say something nice because actually the car did its job of giving us this interesting color palette that we
it did,
actually,
yeah.
I think based on that color of that car, we ended up coloring the whole video. I may be wrong, I don't know, because I was not the person who did that, but the whole vision of the music video being this warm kind of, I don't know, it's not a very cold color palette as we originally thought. It's like more warmer, on the warmer end, I'd say,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
And
there's
I
more of
think the
these yellow
color
tones to
contributed to
it.
it, yeah. And like the hair, the color, some of the outfits, the this brownish seats in the car, like it gave such a nice warm retro atmosphere that I didn't even count on originally, but once we saw it in camera, it just was so nice and like it had this depth, and this atmosphere that we always want to have, always want to capture, as artists. And I feel like that car had that. And my
It
whole
did.
idea originally was, ooh, let's look at this. There's some red car. It will be like
Oh,
a
yes, I
it will be
remember the
like a
red car.
bride. Yeah, and I kept trying to push the guys to push Kristen to choose. I was like, look at this one. She said, no, I think that one's better. I love this one. And she
She
said,
might have regretted
"Oh,
that after driving it, but
I don't think
I don't know
so
if it
because I think it blended so well. Like the whole color palette is so satisfying, and I heard it from
yeah.
multiple people that it puts you into some meditative
Meditative,
yeah.
state of
yeah.
mind, meditative
It
state of
looks
mind.
beautiful,
It's
very
like,
cohesive. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and I actually love that about the whole car and the whole color palette and everything.
Your costumes were awesome too. You had this like flowing, you had a couple different white outfits, but I love the like kind of feathery jacket that was like kind of like flowing in the
Thank
car.
you. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. It was a dress, but it was short, so it can be called jacket too. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the designer that we work with for this music video is a Russian designer. Her name is Sasha Kapanovich. She is a very interesting and unique designer, and she is inspired by Russian North. So when I saw her
Okay.
pieces, I was like, oh my God, we're perfect for each other because I'm inspired by North as well. And Siberia is a part of Russia. So also Russian North, just other side. And when we contacted each other, I just felt like it would be a perfect collaboration for this piece. So yeah, and I'm really happy we ended up using those costumes because I think they also completed this whole depth and textures. I love the textures of the costumes. It's very it has this boiled cotton or something. She prefers cotton in a different in an interesting way.
Huh.
And so the texture of it, it's so different from the normal outfits that you see. And I felt like it also added to the depth of the video.
Yeah, it looks
Yeah,
incredible.
they
It
really
caught
did.
my eye right from the beginning. I was just like,
Thank
wow.
you.
Yeah.
Oh, thank
Yeah.
you.
We had a couple moments of like movie making magic, despite all of the craziness and like, you know, the struggles of trying to make a movie or make a music video all in one day. But I always love to bring up, like, you know, amongst all of my complaining, there are certain moments that I'm like really happy that they just happen. And one of them is in the car, and there's like this teardrop shot. So basically what happened is David like sprayed all the windows down with glycerin to make it look really dewy, like the car had been sitting overnight, and gathered all of this too. And so we have Paulina, the slow shot. You probably saw it. She's in the back seat with Jeffrey, who's like going to put a blindfold over her eyes.
Mhm.
But just before he does, these two like perfect little drops of glycerin or like dew just like fall directly from her eyes. Like it was not planned, and it was like I think one of the first shots we did of that shot, and it was just like, wait, did you see that? Wait, hold on. Did we actually just get that? Oh my God. And then like
Why?
we did it again. Yeah, the second time wasn't as good, but the first time was just so perfect. And I was like,
And that wasn't
oh,
intentional?
no,
No.
not at all. No.
I love
It
that.
was it's like, you know, every once in a while you get a little diamond in the rough like that. So
A
I
little
was
gift.
very excited when we got that.
I love that.
I hope people will see it. I hope it's visual enough for actual audience to notice because it is a very 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 nice little
But it's like a little subtle. I kind of appreciate like a
yeah
little subtlety in it. Like you have to watch it a second
yeah.
time maybe to get it. But I don't know, Helene, do you want to talk about levitating? And how that was for you.
Me
Yeah.
um so we have several levitating scenes there. We have two, right?
We have
We
three.
have two.
Well, I mean, two technically levitating. The third one is you kind of like ascending, I guess. The last shot.
Okay. Oh yeah, okay, two and a half. I'm not gonna talk about the last one because that's so we have a sort of an open ending in the music video. So at the end, I do something, and then it's up to the viewer to decide if I actually fell down or if I uh, raised up to the cloud nine as I'm singing. So it's an open question, and it's up to the audience to decide that. So yeah. So another levitating moment was the one with cockroaches I told you about, and the third one, and the third one was I was supposed to hold Jeffrey, our dancer. I was supposed to hold his hand as I'm kind of lifting myself up. It was like a levitating slash rising above everything, right? Moment. And so, in order to achieve that, I had to stand on something to be higher than him, which in that case was what was that? The
It was an apple
fruit box,
box.
apple
Fruit
box,
box,
yeah,
yeah. Fruit box.
apple box, which was standing sideways on a very uneven surface because it's
Oh god.
outdoors. So it's half grass, half rocks or something. So it's very, very uneven. So I'm supposed to stand there on one leg up, one leg normal, and I'm supposed to lift myself up as I'm holding only on Jeffrey's hand. And the problem was I was also blindfolded in
Oh
that
my
frame.
god.
So that's something that's a full on circus.
It's my
Wow.
fault.
Good luck. Like, how did you do that?
We
I
have
mean, she did
several
it.
takes. we took like, I don't know, 12 takes or something. It was a lot, right?
We did quite a few, but I mean, we got it. Like you
Yeah.
definitely nailed it, and so essentially we just did a little movie magic and made her float. So
It looks
Yeah.
amazing.
yeah,
I would not have
it's
known
Thank
that you were
you.
on a like kind of precarious situation, but did you feel like you were gonna wobble? I mean, not be able to see, that would be, I feel like, kind of scary.
Every time, yes.
Yeah.
oh yeah, like there was no way to make the box like feel entirely secure because it's on you know, it's on essentially like gravel or like dirt and rocks. And so no matter where you put it, it's gonna jostle a little bit. So but Jeffrey was quite the gentleman and he took care of you. And we have like one shot
Absolutely.
where like we had to adjust the box a little bit. And so she's barefoot. So he just like has her like slung over his shoulder. And so she's just kind of like hanging off his shoulder, like waiting for us to
Between
get
takes,
ready.
yeah.
Oh my
So
gosh.
yeah. So
Well, you
that
sound
was
like you're
Yeah, it was
another
fun.
pretty brave
challenge.
and definitely up for anything on a shoot, so I'm impressed.
I
But there
love
was
it. I just love the process, yeah.
oh, I remember Nikita, our producer who produced the music video, he also like shared this little moment. I didn't see it, but he told us about it afterwards where we're this levitating shot, it happens like off of a trail on this like dead tree and it's like this really cool kind of clearing off the path.
Mhm.
And so there's a bunch of families like walking to and fro taking walks or whatever, because I think we shot this over the weekend. So there's, a lot of people out and about. And so Nikita was walking from, back from the car back to where we were shooting. And he's like behind this family who has these two little kids. And they're kind of like, they're very little. And they're talking about like, oh, like, what are we going to see when we go on this, when we take this little journey and go on our little hike? And I think there was a little girl there, and she was like, "Oh my gosh, I hope we see fairies or something like that." Like she said something whimsical, and like they're passing right as Paulina is like in this beautiful dress and like splayed on this like
On
big
this
giant
tree.
gnarled tree, and she just now like looks at Paulina, and then is just like and just like walks
Oh,
away like what did I just see? Well, like maybe she thought she actually saw a fairy. Like what if we just made this little girl's dream come true?
that is amazing. I love that.
I
And what
think
if
you
she
might
grows
be
up and like changes some path or something just because of that single moment that you
yeah, I
saw?
think you might be a core memory for her.
Yeah.
She's gonna tell the
Fairies are
whole
real.
kindergarten class.
Oh,
She will
absolutely.
she will forever believe that fairies are true and this will change her whole life.
Yeah,
So
and
fabulous
they're
that.
right in Malibu. They're not that far away.
No, I
Yeah.
love that. Gotta keep my eyes peeled next time I'm in California.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that's the majority of the craziness that went on for Deep Water. Thankfully, when there wasn't any more to share, everything else went smoothly, and we made a music video. But
Yeah,
but
everyone should
yeah,
go
Actually,
watch it. Looks really good.
actually, it was very smooth. Even with all this little, there are really little all these things that we just told you. They're not deal breakers in any way. It was
right.
so the team was so professional, and it worked like a clock. Everything we did so well. I'm just so proud of the whole process that we went through. It was so professional. I was so impressed.
I love
We did
that.
our best.
Well,
Amazing. Really, really, really impressed.
enjoying this episode? You can find the extended version via the link below.
While you're there, please give us a like. It really helps us out.
With that, I think we're gonna wrap up. But before we go, do you want to tell the people what you're working on other than this music video, and now where people can find you and listen to your music?
Yeah, so I strongly encourage everybody to go and watch our super challenging music video that we just spoke about. It's called Deep Water. It's already out, has been out for a few days so far. So we would greatly appreciate your support. Go watch it, like it, share it with your friends, share the stories that we told. And I'm really hoping that you're going to see what I see in that video, this depth, this beautiful color palette, the atmosphere, and I really hope that it will make you feel something. That's the goal.
And you
Whatever
might
it
see a
is
few
you
cockroaches too.
Well, I'm hoping not to, yeah. But firstly, I really hope that it will make you feel something because that's what it's intended for. Yeah, you can listen to me on all music platforms, Spotify, Apple Music, and watch videos on YouTube. Just type Polyna, Polyna, and I'll appear. Follow me on Instagram, it's Polyna Music. That's where I post a lot of Siberia related content and lately more music oriented as well. Also, I have a little advertisement moment. I also have natural skincare. I make natural skincare. It's called Jiva. We source all the ingredients from Siberia and I make it here in California and we ship worldwide. If you want to try a little piece of Siberia, that's also a possibility. So yeah, that's probably all I wanted to share for now.
Awesome. Well, I didn't know you were multi-talented, music and skincare.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. All right. We'll have to check out all the things.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for being here, Polyna. And thank you everyone for listening. That is it for Shoot the Shit. And we'll see you next time.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for having me. It was a pleasure.
Join us for the next shit show.
No Longer Network.